Hello everyone. In today's video, we will learn about how to integrate ServiceNow ticketing systems with Atom. Along with it, we'll also learn what are the various use cases of this integration and how can we achieve all these different use cases. ServiceNow is a widely used IT service management platform. It is used both by service providers and enterprises alike to streamline the process of reporting any IT problems. These problems can be related to the IT infrastructure or network devices which form the part of the infrastructure. It has a comprehensive reporting function through which you can view and analyze the tickets as well resolve the tickets. Today, we will see how Atom's modular platform allows for very easy integration with ServiceNow instance to help solve the business use cases. These use cases can be related to ticketing of existing processes like your workflows, as well as any alert remediations like high CPU or high memory usage, for which the tickets can be sent to your ServiceNow instance. So the first step is to go to the general administration menu, and under the general administration, we'll have to give the URL of the ServiceNow instance that we have and the credentials. So we'll go under administration, and under administration, we'll go to system, general settings. Now, if you just go on edit the general settings, we can find we have the ServiceNow options here. So here, right into ServiceNow, first we'll give the ServiceNow instance URL. So this is a URL that I have already put on my demo instance. And then I'll give the username and credentials for connecting to ServiceNow. And I can enable and disable the ServiceNow instance as well, right from this button here. So next we'll go to the workflow catalog and see the ServiceNow workflow that we have created for sending the tickets to ServiceNow. So we will go under automation and workflows. Under this catalog, we'll search for the ServiceNow workflow that we have. So I'll type ServiceNow, and this is the workflow that we have created. Now let's go inside this workflow. Okay. So what we see here are the detailed steps of how the tickets are raised for an incident. So these are the various steps involved. So now what I see here is that the first step is to get the URL and authorization for the ServiceNow, which is taken from the credentials that we have put under the general administration. And then once it gets the URL and authorization, it fetches the service ID. And then after fetching the service ID, it updates the incident in ServiceNow. And then the incident number is raised, which you can see on Atom as well as on your ServiceNow tool. Now this workflow is very modular, which means that it can also be edited and customized as per the customer requirements. And then this workflow can also be used as a subroutine. So imagine you have a software upgrade workflow where you want to raise a ticket right after the reboot happens on the device. So you can just go ahead and insert this workflow after the reboot process. Or you can also use this workflow as a standalone workflow where for incidents or alarms, you can raise a ServiceNow ticket as a closed loop action, which is done automatically from Atom, or as a manual action. So now what we will do is we'll go to the alerts and try to raise a new ServiceNow ticket for one of the alerts that we have on Atom. So I'll go under the alerts. And under the alerts, I can see I have these alerts on my system. So I'll just select this alert, which is a device availability alert for this device 172.16.3.45. I'll select this alert and I can see that there are actions taken. So currently I have not taken any action, or Atom has also not taken any action on this alert. So I can take a manual action. So I'll just go ahead and go under actions and raise and update ServiceNow ticket. So I'll take this action. So what will happen now is that once I click on this manual action, Atom will automatically start the workflow at the backend, which will again update the ServiceNow ticket. So this is the same workflow that we saw right before the screen. So I can go under the task viewer and see that this is the workflow that was ran. So this is the workflow and I can see the task completed successfully. So next I can go to my ServiceNow screen and see if this incident is raised. So this is my device for which the incident was raised, 3.45. If I go under the incident screen here, I can see that I've got a new incident for device availability 3.45. And I can as well check this incident. So I can go inside the incident and see the severity as high, status as new, and I got the device availability alert. Now let's go back to the alerts and see the workflow. So since we have triggered this, a workflow instance would be automatically triggered from Atom. So this is the workflow instance that was triggered. And we can also verify the same by going to the workflows. And then under the workflow instances, we can see this new workflow instance was run. Now, this was a manual action, but the same action can also be further extended to run automatically, which means at any point of time you get an alert where you have set the action as update ServiceNow ticket. It can also be automatically generated, which means that once you get the high CPU alert or any kind of alert related to disk memory or any network alert, you can directly update the ServiceNow ticket without any manual intervention. So all we have to do is just go under the closed loop automation and then under the alert actions, raise update ServiceNow ticket. So this was the alert action workflow that we ran manually. Now we'll just edit it. And what we can do here is that we can set the trigger to auto. So now the trigger is manual, which means that this action will not be run automatically. But once I change the trigger to auto, what will happen is that all the alerts where this action is called, once the alert is generated, this action will be taken automatically. Another interesting use case for this can be you can have your software upgrade workflow, for example. Let me go to the software upgrade workflow. So under the package explorer, I'll just edit my upgrade workflow that I use for upgrading the software or the image on the Juniper MX device. So I'll go under the package explorer. So I'll search for my upgrade workflow. And what I see here is this one. So this is the package that I have for my Juniper software upgrade. I'll go under the workflow. Okay. So once I click it, I'll see this entire set of workflow. So this is actually the workflow package explorer where you can edit your existing workflows or create new workflow packages. Now I have this workflow which I use regularly for upgrading my Junos device, right? Now there is a requirement that, okay, once the pre-checks are done, what I want to do is that I want to run a workflow to update incidents on ServiceNow, or after the reboot approval, I want to call the ServiceNow workflow. So as soon as the reboot happens on the device, an incident is raised on ServiceNow. So all you have to do is just go under the Atom preloaded library and search for the subroutine or the sub workflow that you want to call upon. So I'll go under this library here. And then under the catalog items, I have the workflows. And here I'll select the ServiceNow workflow. So this is my ServiceNow workflow. I'll just drag it here. So once I've dragged this workflow here, all I have to do is just with the help of the spanner, I can just insert this workflow wherever I want. So if I want it after the pre-check block, I can just use the spanner tool to insert it after the pre-check block. So what will happen is now that after the pre-check block, this workflow will run. Now, once I save this new workflow, what will happen is the same upgrade workflow. Now, after the pre-check step, an incident will be generated and sent to ServiceNow, and then the next steps will be followed. So this is how you can use the same workflow for a lot of different use cases. So with this, we learned how to use the ServiceNow integration with Atom to raise and update new incidents, and then use the same workflow for a variety of different use cases. So you can raise ServiceNow incidents for your alerts, which can be CPU alerts, disk alerts, memory alerts, link up or link down or PGP flap alerts. And then you can also use the ServiceNow incidents for your L2, L3 VPN services, where once a service is defined, an incident will be generated, or even in your existing workflows, you can insert this workflow. For example, if you have a software upgrade or a ZTP workflow where a new device is onboarded using ZTP, so once the ZTP process finishes, a ServiceNow incident is raised. So with this, we will end today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very nice day.